Hi Flosstube, it's Narissa from Narissa's Stitching Lifestyle in Christchurch, New Zealand. Welcome. Today is March the 20th, 2025, and it is Flosstube number 46, I believe. So it's been a couple of weeks since we caught up and we were getting ready to go to retreat, held here in Christchurch. The retreat, New Zealand retreat, this time was run by Angel Crafts. Thank you Debbie and all the wonderful people that put on the lovely retreat. It was absolutely lovely for the soul, just to catch up with friends, catch up with fellow stitchers, to be enabled, just to have a nice time, not have to think of work. Always a bonus. But it was great. It was great catching up with everybody. I'd also like to say thank you for all the little gifts and stuff that I received from people. Really appreciate it. There was also a thank you to everyone that did the finishing class, the strawberry finishing class that I taught. It was a very big class, and it was a bit hard to get around everybody, but we did manage to do it. I think pretty much everybody bar one or two got them finished, which was really lovely. So hopefully everyone's okay with those. There is the Flosstube that I've done the one before, that kind of just shows how I do mine, and especially with the lace top, which is what I taught in the class. And the instructions I was going to send out, I have my computer away being looked at. I have an issue going on, and hopefully that'll be back soon and we'll be able to get that file sent out to everybody. So sorry about that, it is still coming. Let me see, I'm not going to show the goodie bag or any of the gifts and stuff that I did receive. If you want to see our goodie bag, Lee from Creative Lee has shown that on her Flosstube the Monday after retreat, I think it was, wasn't it, Lee? Or the one just bang, see the one of the two. So if you want to pop over and see that, that would be really great. I just feel it doesn't need to be shown again. But yeah, it was great. It was nice to catch up with everybody. You always come away roaring to get into your stitching, which you'll see that I have done. I've worked on quite a few projects. I did manage to achieve my one big goal for retreat, which you all know from last time, was to finish my sampler that I'd left the 154 stitches. I got that done on the Saturday, and I'll show that shortly. I got my new start in, and other than that, I kind of just stitched on a couple other little things at the retreat. Yeah, but I have worked on a few other things, few other samplers. I had the week off after retreat, to relax. Like, it's just been that busy time of year with work, so I had that time off to recover and get back into doing a bit of my stuff. So it was really nice. Right, so shall we get started? Okay, so we're going to start with our Christmas stitching like we normally do. And I haven't worked on this every morning, but I've worked on it a couple of mornings, and I've been working on the Prairie Schooler Santa's 12 Days of Christmas, number 1 to 4 currently at the moment. And I have a finish of number 1. These are being stitched on a strip of 40 count, and it was from the bottom of one of my samplers. I can't remember which one exactly, but I'm just using the called for DMC threads. I love the patches in the Petri. So that got completely finished off. Number 2, we had the outline with the bird cage, so we've done the birds and the number 2, and now I'm just filling in his jacket, so all the rest of this is just red stitching, and then number 2 will be completely finished. So I've got all 12 of these to stitch. Kind of need to get going. It's March already. Should really have had at least another one or two finished, but move it over slightly. Here is number 3 with the French ends, so it's pretty much ready to go. Just need to outline centre and the French ends coloured in, and the number 3, and then what are we? 4 turtle doves. It's got a long way to go yet. Number 3 and 4. So that's just my morning stitch, half an hour to an hour before work. Don't really get a lot in that space of time, but it is nice to do. Still keep your hand in that Christmas stitching. Okay, I'm going to show you my finishes. Oh, I said finishes, didn't I? Okay, so let's look at the finish number 1, which is the one that was my goal to finish at retreat, because it got started at retreat last year in Christchurch. So it started March last year and finished on March the 9th. Was that the Saturday? I think it was March the 9th. Was Martha Walmsley 1847 by Hands Across the Sea Samplers. This was an exclusive pattern from Hobby House Needleworks. I stitched mine with called for DMC threads. Lovely colours. And this has been a stitch along, just bobbing down to grab it, a stitch along with Susie and Jude. All 3 of us have been stitching it. Susie's finished hers, is framed. Mine is now finished, not framed yet. And Jude's been working on hers. So I'm going to show you now the full finished project. And here is my Martha Walmsley. Now I've dedicated this, like I said last time, to my 3 times great grandmother, get it in the right way, Maria Louisa Rush, and her year of birth was 1850 and her year of death was 1903. So dedicated it to her. This little section here where it's real creamy about here in the middle, that was the 154 stitches I had left to finish for retreat. And I just love how this has come out. It's on hand-dyed fabric that I dyed myself. I can't wait to get this framed, but it will be a little while. I have a big bill I have to pay for first on something else, so we'll get that paid and then we'll get some stuff into the framing shop. But do love how Martha has come out. It's gorgeous. We come back probably about there is about the right colouring for the background fabric. And I'm definitely going to, I did write down my formula for dyeing this, so I'm going to have a go and see if I can get another piece kind of similar. Okay, so that was finish number 1. Then when we were at retreat, the second sampler that I had with me was Sarah Milthorp, also from Hands Across the Sea Samplers. It's the one with the big red house and the little big trees here. And I had a wee bit to do on this. So I basically at retreat I worked on leaves, which sounds really silly, but there's hundreds of them. So at retreat I stitched the little leaves down. I had the top row done and this side done, and I did the other side here and then along the bottom. Well, I started along the bottom at retreat, and then during my week off I finished Sarah. So Sarah once again is on a piece of, this one is done with 30 night DMC threads, and oh, I've lost my little tag. Hold on one moment please. Dropped it in here. Pretty sure Martha's one was dyed, Sarah's one was dyed as well. Yes, it was. So I dyed them at the same time. So 40 count DMC threads, apart from I did use 100 threes to do all the wording around the top here and the name in the middle. So I'll swap sides. And I'll bring it forward. The name in the middle I have popped this time is Sarah Francis. Tim's was her maiden name and Thomas was her married surname. And this is another one of my 3 times great grandmothers. On the same side of the family tree, but this one is very special. Sarah's. I love it. I love how she's turned out. So that's now 3 family relative ones I've done. And I've got a few more to go yet. I'm trying to work back to like the first ones that arrived in New Zealand. So I know from Maria I have to go back to her mother as well, and I think Sarah I have to go back to. I think it is. So there's still a lot more samplers to come yet that will be dedicated to the women and it will be on each side of my family history line, but at the moment I'm concentrating on my mother's side. But I do love how this is coming out. Absolutely gorgeous. There's a lot of stitching in these little wee berry baskets along the bottom here. But my gosh. And in these guys take a little while too. There's a lot of stitching in there. But absolutely love how this is. It's gorgeous. So yay, 2 sampler finishes. I'll put them on the same board. So Martha and Sarah. Really pleased to have both of those finished. Which means then we have 2 empty project bags ready for stash sampler starts. And before we go into the other whips and stuff, I have started sorting out my 8 starts that I'm going to do for stash sampler starts, and I will be showing those shortly. I'm just going to pop that in here. Okay, we'll just double check our notes. We've got that one, and Martha and Sarah. Okay, so when we were at retreat, I'm sitting at the table with, who did we have? See if I can get everybody. Jessica was on one side of me, Susie was on the other side, Tanya at the end, Lee, and Jude. So there's myself, Susie, Tanya, Lee and Judith are all doing a red thread a day stitching, and we've got a little group that we post in every day, so it keeps us accountable. It's okay if you miss a day, you can, you know, catch it up. It's not a problem. I had one day this week I just was so tired after work and I headache, just couldn't get any done, so I didn't do that, but I made it up by doing an extra thread the next day. So I've really got 2 that I'm doing, and one I'm mostly posting and the other one I'm gonna start posting because I'm stitching on both. But this first one that I am doing is my red thread a day. You have to do a minimum of 1 red thread. You can do more, but at least 1. So I pulled out a stitch in time saves 9, 1886, and this was from Hands Across the Sea, and it was exclusive chart to a stitch in time in Hobart, Tasmania in Australia. And I think you can still get these. I'm pretty sure they're still on their website. It's a lovely little wee sampler. But yeah, I mean, it's been going for a little while and I probably really should have had it well and truly finished. So I am stitching mine with 103 red, and it's 664. on 56 count, 1 strand over 2. So we had the whole outside border done, and I had all the letters across here and kind of, you know, about 3 loops in this one like these. They were only little wee parts. The same with this, same with this. And I had a stitch in. That was as far as I'd got. So the whole border and those little wee bits. So I've been doing my 1 thread a day, and I first finished off the wording at the bottom. So a stitch in time saves 9. I then chose to come up, and it took 3 threads to get the rest of this lovely row done. Then I come up and I worked on this one for a couple of threads, and there's only a little wee bit there which I'll just keep working on that when I finish the letter. If there's a bit left, kind of popping it into here. And then I came up and I worked on these letters here, so M, N, O and P, and then a little bit of border along. So one night was when I missed the one day and I did the catch up. I did the M, N, O in one night, and then the next day, which was this morning, I did the P and come along the border along here. So then I'll just keep working a little bit like that and then finish, start bringing this border in here. I'm absolutely loving how this is coming out. The other ladies have chosen some really lovely red samplers as well. It is getting us motivated to keep going. I get a bit, I wouldn't say bored, but I get a bit restless stitching the same thing all the time. So just doing a thread or like a motif a time helps keep me going rather than stop starting. So that won't take much longer to finish that one. So the other one I chose for another red sampler is a really big one. Hands Across the Sea Samplers, and it's the Harriet Salt Orphan number 1628. This is from Hands Across the Sea Samplers, and this is a big sampler, Bristol sampler, and I've started it not, oh my gosh, was it last year? Hold on, can I write it in here? Might not be in here, it'll be in my, no, I haven't got it on the piece of paper in the bag. Started it, it's either last year's one, I think it was the one before Stash Sampler starts, and I really haven't picked it up much. So when I did pull it up, let me go this way with it, I had the F to M done. So since the last 2 weeks I have stitched N, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, and so that's as far over as it goes. This is the very top row of alphabet, and then I did the E and part of the D last night, so I want to try and get over to the A so that whole top row will be finished, and then I'll be able to start coming down, because that's one of the bigger, when you kind of look at it in the book, that's that big row there, and then I know exactly how wide it is to be able to start coming down and doing all those other lovely alphabets in the designs at the bottom. So 103 again, and this time the color number is 648, because I wanted my Harriet, so it kind of looks a red, it's a burgundy red there, but when you look at the fabric that Nicola brought out that you could buy to make, you know, bags or whatever you wanted with it, this is the Harriet Salt fabric, and it's a real dark burgundy, and I really liked that, so I chose the burgundy color rather than the red, and I just like how that's coming out, because then my stitch piece is going to look very similar in color to that. It's not quite as dark a fabric, but that's all right. So Harriet Salt, and it's on 56 count. So this is 1/2 metre. Yes, 1/2 metre wide, I think I did, or 1/2 metre. Yeah, 1/2 metre wide, and that's the whole width of, if you buy it on a bolt of fabric, that's half. So it's a whole width of fabric, which I think is like 1 metre something, and it's definitely not going to be that long, but I'm just not cutting it down yet until I get sort of down that one side and I can see how long it is. So that's my second read through today. And yes, ladies, I haven't been posting this one every day, but I will, once I get that, I'll post it up today, once I've done the next couple of letters, and then I will bring it into my, I'll be doing 2 read threads a day. So if you want to join us, you're more than welcome. It's a great way. It doesn't have to be a red one, just pick something and make sure you're working on it every day. Okay, so that's that one and that one. Righty ho. So what else should we look at? Let's have a look. Right, so my next sampler that I have to show you that I've worked on is, you're going to see a theme. There is a lot of hands across the sea samplers at the moment. Only because I have a lot, and I have a lot I've started. So Ann Diaper, 1826. I love this one with the big flowers in the middle and just the bright pinks and orange and blue in it. She's gorgeous. So Ann is being stitched using 36 count that I dyed myself. It's got a, I've done it as a pinky tan and pink base, and I'm using the DMC threads. A little bit tangled because we were working on it the other day. So all gonna fall over now. Rightio, so here is Ann, where I have got to. So beforehand, everything you see in the middle so far had been done. The bones of the outside border had been done, and some of the flower bits like along the top here. So this time around, once again, I started down here and I worked my way up, just doing the leaves. These flowers were already there, doing the leaves, and I've worked my way like along the internal, halfway along here. You can see where it's hanging out, and I'm going to keep going around. I want to get that done because then I can jump in and do the rest of the flowers. So this side here, we've got the little stalks where the flowers are going to sit. Then they all have a creamy centre like this one, and I want to kind of get those all done, and then I can pick up the orange and do all the orange ones, or pick up all the blue and do all that. Before we go back into the centre, I'd like to get the border done. It's nice easy counting, and it didn't actually take that long to get those borders up. So Mary is one of my focus pieces, so you will see Mary until she is finished. She will at least get a couple of sessions on her per fortnight, and one will be today, hopefully. No, it should be. So that's Mary. Okay, so the next one that is a year focus is Our Forest Embroidery, Everflowering Garden. This one is being stitched on 46 count using DMC threads at 910. I'll just swap pages, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 DMC colours to make that beautiful sampler. and it's such a fun stitch. You know how sometimes you pull one out and it takes ages to get into it? You know, like say you're doing all this part and it's like bit monotonous. You start coming down here. Then once you get into the fun motifs, oh my gosh, it's just flying. So as you can see, I got a wee bit done this time round. So I haven't, just in case you haven't watched for a while or catching up, this is the center motif here, and everything that is stitched on this side here will be stitched over here as well. So rather than doing the same thing twice straight away, I've chosen to come down the row. And this time around, we've done a little birdie. There's two butterflies, and I'm going to call it a swan, because that's to me what it looks more like. Swan feathers, but it's gorgeous. And oh my gosh, the next steps are kind of a bit bigger. So this is where I stitched here. So we either can go back and do this one and then maybe come down and do this border. So I really want to get into this big one here. So don't know, I mean, not sure whether I'm going to go that way or that way. But, oh, there, who was it? No, mine's gone blank. There was someone has finished it on Instagram, and it is, she's got it framed, and it is gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. But we'll hold her up again because she's going to be, it's going to be a year-long stitch, this one. But I absolutely love how it's coming out. She's gorgeous. So that there was two of my whips that I worked on. Okay, then let me just grab the right boards. Okay, so my next stitchy project that I worked on was Stitch Along that I've been doing with Judith for several years now. We've been working on the Uffindell sisters. And we've been a bit slack about kind of having a Zoom meeting, catching up and stitching together. So we've decided we're doing fortnightly get-togethers on Zoom, and I'm stitching on Isabella, excuse me, and Judith is still stitching on Ann, and Ann is up the back there, go that way, there, just above my finger. There. That's Ann Uffindell finished up there. So I'm working on Isabella. And I only stitch on this when we're on our Zoom call, so this is just a as long as it takes stitch. Isabella is being stitched with DMC threads. Love the colours in these. And this is where Isabella is. Now Isabella is slightly longer than what Ann is. Go too far back to get it in, you can't see the stitching. So I have the bones of the border in, and what I've done is I've been now filling in up the top part. And this time round, I'll swap sides. This time round I was working over here. So when we were on our Zoom call, I did the little puppy here, the leaves on the tree, and after we hung up, but before I finished up that night, I did the bird here and the few little leaves above. So there's still, I think, a little bit more to go on this one, and then that kind of motif is finished. There is some, like inside these flowers, I haven't done those yet because it's a satin stitch, and I don't want to do that too early and then have it all stretch out and not sit right. So I'll leave the satin stitches till the end, and or near the end, and come back and do those. Still haven't finished filling in all this. I'll just save that for one of the nights when, you know, you just want to sit and chat rather than stitch, so I can just randomly stitch without counting. But she's coming together nicely. So she'll hopefully be one you'll see every fortnight as well going forward. So it gets a couple of hours that fortnight, but enjoying it. Okay, that's Isabella. Oops, I was lucky. I just tripped over one. Okay, so my next sampler, which is another one I would like to get finished, and saying that I've probably now jinxed it, but Examplars from the Heart, and They Sinned. My goal is I want this finished before the end of the year, and I think I'm going to be able to do it, no problems there, but it's not the only sample I want to finish. Okay, so we are currently down here at the border, but I've still got to fill in the middle here, and I've done some of this, and I've still got the peacocks up here to do, and I'll show you it shortly, because I want to kind of get that really concentrated finished, because in here is awful coverage, and that's going to take a wee bit more working on. This is being stitched on the cold 4. Let's have a look. What do we got? Sampler threads and a couple of DMCs because I couldn't get the sampler threads. On 40 count hog bristle from Fox and Ribbit. Now she's getting harder and harder to show because she's getting very long. So I was going to do at retreat just the full in 10 rows here for the base of the border, but I didn't do that. I ended up stitching on Sarah instead in my new start, so I didn't get that done. But after retreat, when I picked this up, I had the bones of both of these trees done, and I think the bones of that one done. So we got the flowers all coloured in on both. One person stitched the middle sort of motif, pants of the second person, and all of this done. So the peacock on the top and all that, which is quite a bit of stitching really, but definitely loving how this is coming out. I did also work on, well, I had the pink, I did the stars up here, so still the big peacocks to go in that middle piece, and I'll do those because they're the same colours as what's needed in around here. But cheers, that's my concentration area at the moment, is let's get this part done, and then we'll go down to the next one. I may even do a bit of these two together, we'll see. But there's not much more space. That's me actually touching the ceiling. So can't wait to have you done. Just such a big long girl. I love stitching on this. This one was started not this year, the year before's, so 2003's stash sampler starts. So really would love to have that finished this year, but we'll see. Tis the aim, doesn't mean it's going to happen. Okay, so we've still got another couple yet. Right, so because I'd finished 2 samplers, I pulled another kind of 2 into my whips into my rotation to kind of keep working away on, and one of those was the Sampler Company. It's from Brenda Keys, and this one is called the Contented Mind Sampler. It's cute. I love the gates and all the tree things in here. It's really gorgeous. Haven't got to that yet though. And these big roses at the bottom. Can't wait to do those. But we're getting there. I'm going to show you what I stitched on. so this is where it's at the moment, and this little bit down here is the bottom of the sampler, and it will start to come along. So this time I went a little bit more, filling in the second row down here, and I've put in this part here, which is another flowery motif, and it still needs to have all its colours put in. So if we can get in close enough without it glaring out too much. So this one here right above my finger, the one with the sort of pink flowers hanging down. We sort of do all the colour in that bottom corner one as well. Right. By doing those, I can then do the base along here, which means that can be worked on too. Sorry, it's a photo that's like on the front of the sampler packet, and it does, all the light just catches and glares in it. But she's going to be gorgeous. Stitched with DMC threads, and it is on, do we have the tag? We have it up here. She is on 46 count hog bristle from Fox and Rabbit. I do like the tone of hog bristle against, you know, lighter and darker DMC threads. It works really well. So this one will start coming along a bit more regularly. It's another older sampler, and I'd like to get that done too. Okay, so my next sampler that I worked on was another one that's been started for a long time and been put away, because you always get that shiny and new that you want to do, and it is Florence Mary Dickinson from Hands Across the Sea Samplers. This was a limited edition from Hobby House Needleworks. This one will be dedicated to one of my great grandparents. I just haven't decided which one yet. And this is where I'm at. So, let me see. This time round, I was up here doing all the leaves. So I've done all the leaves on the border. It felt like a leaf week or a fortnight, if you like. It was a bit of greenery. Filled in all of that. We've come down to the bottom, and now this is the start of coming along the bottom. I had the grass here already done, so I've done the deer and then this little motif here, but I wanted to get that, work on a bit of that border, just so I know where the bottom is, because I haven't decided if there's still some more flowers to come off this big one in the middle. Do I want to do that big centre motif one and then work the little bits around it, or do I want to do the little bits and finish the big motif off last? I just haven't decided yet. But it's going to be another one of those that'll come out for at least a night's stitching every fortnight. Because it's another one that's over several years old. It's not that big. Why haven't I finished it? And this is being stitched with 100 threads on, what was it stitched on? It was stitched on 46 count creme brulee from Tabby Catlin. This was where I kind of got the mottling idea of how I wanted to do Martha and Sarah's fabrics. So that shows you, because they've been going for what, a year and just over a year, and they were dyed at the same time. So can't wait to have that one done either. So I've brought in some different whips to try and get done. It's a lot to get through each fortnight, but I am getting there. Okay, so when I was at retreat, you have to have a retreat start. And you're going, Narissa, you said you weren't going to start anything until August. I did say that, but it's only a small. For me, anyway. No, it's a small. So, I decided I wasn't going to start a sampler at retreat, because I've got Stash Sampler starts coming up, and I wanted to work on some of my smaller projects because I still love all my little smalls and I want them, but they get pushed aside to work on, oh gosh, it's stuck in there, to work on my bigger projects, and I don't really get around to them, so I'm making myself work on smaller ones as well this year. So my start was Simple Gifts Spool from Jeanette Douglas Designs, and this was an exclusive from the Homespun and Needlework Facebook group, and it came all kitted and with the spool as well to make the piece up. It comes with, I've pinned them out, but it comes with all the threads, enough to make it. So I've took them out of their little packets and put them onto the card so they're easy to stitch. And now I'll show you my stitching. So this was where I got to for my start. So this is the framework for the outside border, and inside each one of these has satin stitch, so that will be done last. But I have finished 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, yes, 3.5. So this one here is all done, the B is all done, and then I've done 3 of the flowers, bits of the flowers there, and then it comes into the next product, which is, so I've started here, the B, a little bit of those. This is the next flower. So I'm trying to get at least one of these little motifs done each week, and a little bit of border, and I feel if I do that, then that will you know, keep it on track, and it won't take long. Some of them don't take that long to stitch, and then it will be to assemble it. And Jeanette's instructions are very good in here, so I don't think it's going to be too bad to do. And I know Vonna did a video as well, one of the twisted stitches, so we can have a look at that to see how it's going to go. But definitely enjoying this. It's being stitched on, what are we, 36 count Dolly Medicine fabric, and the fabric at the moment is just folded in half so that we could get it on the little board. But loving how that is coming out. Can't wait to work on this some more either. This week coming. Oops, I'll just pop those away in there so I know where it all is. Okay, let's have a look. We've done that, we've done that. Okay, that is all that I've worked on. Now, I have some stitch email. Originally I only ordered one thing from Needlework Market, and it's something I've been waiting a long time to come out, so as soon as I seen it I knew I had to have it. So I did my pre-order with Helen, and she went over to Nashville. She has a store here in New Zealand, and I purchased through here for all my Nashville ones that I got so far. But my main one I wanted was Jeanette Douglas's My Stitching album. And this is a very big book. It is absolutely gorgeous. Just the instructions, seeing how, I mean, most of the stitches I know how to do anyway, but just seeing the same stitch done in several different ways is really nice. The choice of colours that she's used, though I think I'll do some of them in similar but not necessarily exactly the same. Some are DMC, she's got some silk, she's got all sorts in this, but we'll just give it a flick right here. is the Rose Rhapsody page, and that is just gorgeous. So you can finish it in a book like this. There is a couple of other sort of finishing ideas in here, different kind of books that you can make it into as well. So I haven't decided. This is why I haven't finalised my stash sampler starts, because it's not really a sampler. Isn't a sampler you're going to frame on the wall, but it is like the pages in the book are all different little samplers, you know, and it's like, oh, do I want to start this for stash sampler starts? But once I know I start this, this is going to be all I want to stitch on. So I'm kind of thinking maybe not, but I might leave this and get it all covered up, and it might become just a random start later in the year. If I had all the silks, I would have started it now, but no, I'm trying to be good. So it will be started this year. That is my goal, even if it ends up being New Year's Eve. I then kept seeing things pop up, and I thought, oh my gosh, I'm trying to be good, not spend lots of budget money on patterns that I have a huge stash of patterns, and I was trying to be good, but there were 3 that I couldn't avoid. And one is Christmas related, but also sampler related, and it is from Jean Farish Needleworks, and it is the English Country Garden Christmas Stocking Ornaments. Oh, and they are so cute. So these will come into definitely going to be started not too far off the DMC threads, so they're actually not that big. They are, what's it say, 59 by 79. So sweet little wee stockings. I think I'm just going to have to do those very soon. So that was one extra purchase. And then the second and third extra purchase, of course, because been on the strawberry kick, I had to get the strawberry box. Erica Michaels, Life is Sweet Strawberries. These are so cute. Well worth it if you haven't got it. I mean, lovely little wee stitches, but just the finishing ideas. Oops, we don't want to see that. The different tops. You know, I mean, I know the felt, a lot of them that she does, felted wool, but just gorgeous. Just trying to see if I can. There was one that really must have been on the other page that I absolutely. This one here, like, I love the finishing top on this one. Just looks like another little wee, you know, flower on top, and it's just gorgeous. So yes, there'll be some more strawberries in the future coming. And the other one I got was the bird song ones, and they're so cute, such little cute little wee birds. And those are lovely, just lovely simple finish. Green top, the leaves, and a little flower, and then a button for the centre. Gorgeous. So I will definitely be stitching those too. So there's definitely going to be some more strawberries. Not that I don't have other strawberry patterns I wanted to stitch too, but definitely working on those. So I'm not sure yet. I said to my message friends that I'd been naughty and brought them, and I really want to start, but I'm trying to hold it off if I can, at least for a little while, a few weeks. But I know me, and I'll probably just start it anyway. You've got to start it to finish it, don't you? You've got to start it to be able to stitch it one stitch at a time, whether it's our big samplers like up on the wall, or whether it's our little wee ones like our pin cushions, or our strawberries. This one is from the 12 Strawberries of Christmas. And these are gorgeous. But if you don't start them, you can't finish them. This one was a present. Yeah, that's probably really it. I haven't got much else this time round, because like I said, I'm working on assembling all my, or deciding and assembling my stash sampler starts for August and September. The other one I've been, so that there will be a video with those, possibly more than a dozen, but it'll get narrowed down as we get close to the event, on which ones I want to really start. Otherwise we'll start all 12. And the only other starts that will be coming up and stitching that will be coming up, other than what you've pretty much seen in a couple of the bigger samplers, will be Christmas in July. I mean, we're in March, near the end, you know, over halfway through March. What's that? April, May, June. It's coming. So I need to start prepping for that too, what I'm going to do for Christmas in July this year. But that really will be all. The rest of it is going to be concentrating on what I love to stitch, what I've already got started stitching, because I want to get some of those finished before I bring in some more of these bigger ones. And so far, touch wood, we have managed to pretty much finish a sampler a month. I know Martha and Sarah got finished this month, but Martha really would have been finished at the end of February. I just stopped that little bit to do it at retreat. So yeah, that's I've finished 3 and we're in the 3rd month, so I think that's pretty good. Yeah, so happy stitching everybody. Thanks for watching if you made it to the end. I've caught up on a wee bit of Flosstube. I've commented on a few. I've still got some really big long ones to watch, which is great. But sometimes you get stuck into a movie series or TV series on Netflix, and you kind of got to watch that. And I did do that a wee bit when I was on holiday, especially with the stitching, because you just sit and stitch into it. But yeah, so happy stitching, one stitch at a time, and see ya.